Welcome to our tutorial about preventing hum. Hum is also known as electrical buzzing, and it can leak into your recording and cause a real problem. The hum is usually a low-pitched tone or buzz at about 60 Hz, 50 Hz in Europe, and at multiples of that frequency or the harmonics of the 50 or 60 Hz. Hum is basically really annoying and hard to isolate. So it's important that you set up your studio appropriately to avoid generating hum if you can. Hum is caused by cables picking up magnetic and electrostatic hum fields radiated by power wiring, especially if the cable shield is broken. It's also caused by ground loops. Ground loops happen when there's two or more different paths to ground among all of your studio gear. For example, if your mixing board, computer, sound card, and MIDI synth are all plugged into different outlets, and all of this stuff is connected together with audio cables, you're just asking for ground loops to occur. Since the ground voltage may be slightly different at each piece of equipment, a hum signal flows between the components along the cable shield. The key to preventing ground loops is to provide all your gear only one path to the ground, like by plugging everything into one power strip. This is called star grounding. Now, you might think it's not a good idea to plug too much stuff into one power strip, but except for power amps and powered monitors, studio gear doesn't actually suck up that much power. It's not at all like plugging in your coffee maker, microwave, toaster, and space heater into the same outlet in your kitchen. Now, if not into the same outlet, make sure your gear is plugged into outlets that are powered by the same breaker. Even with star grounding, you can still generate some problems with hum. So here's some other tips. If you're taking an audio feed from a VCR or DVD player, disconnect the cable TV signal. That's because the cable's shielding provides a path to the ground that's independent from your home's electrical grounding. Do any of you still know what a VCR is? Try flipping the ground lift switch on your gear if it has one. For example, bass amps with direct out jacks. Some power amps create hum if they don't get enough AC current. Connect the power amp or powered speakers to their own socket, making sure they go to the same breaker. Use balanced cables going into balanced equipment. Balanced cables have XLR or TRS connectors and two conductors surrounded by a shield. Ideally, the signal should be connected to the chassis ground, not the signal ground at both ends of the cable. Avoid the use of fluorescent lighting and dimmer switches. They are notorious for generating electrical noise. If you think all your equipment is properly wired but you still have some hum, you can check all your cables and connectors for broken leads and shields. You can unplug all equipment. Then start by listening to just the powered monitor speakers. Connect a component to the system one at a time and then see where the hum starts. Number 3, remove audio cables from your devices and check each device by itself. Perhaps there's a defect in one piece of your gear. Number 4, turn down the volume on your power amp or speakers and instead feed them a higher level of signal. Number 5, try another microphone. Number 6, if you hear a buzz from an electric guitar, have the player move to a different location or aim in a different direction. You can also ground the player's body by attaching a wire from him or her to the strings near the tailpiece of the guitar. Next, route your mic and instrument cables away from power cords. Separate them vertically where they cross. It's also a good idea to turn down high-frequency EQ on a buzzing bass guitar track. And number 9, try using a noise gate in your software. If you take these precautions and follow these troubleshooting tips, you should be able to connect your equipment without introducing any hum or minimize its impact on your recording. And this concludes our tutorial about preventing hum or electrical buzzing in your work. In our next tutorial, we're going to talk about reducing RFI, radio frequency interference.